Hey, Arimath here. We're going in and taking down this giant-looking reindeer dinosaur. And on the back, right out of the gate, stabbing it. Something I noticed, kind of funny, I haven't had to worry too much about stamina on shake-offs. I mean, I would fight against Behemoth, right? And, good lord, that thing would shake you off really quick. But here, I just kind of, keep stabbing through it. Knock them down. I want those horns, so we're nailing them for sure. Trying to take advantage of whatever they're going to be used for, probably in future sets. Maybe nothing at all. I already got the full armor set, plus the fancy mammoth axe that comes with it. So this is kind of just to fill an optional mission. I already fought him out where he belongs. Look at that, just tossing tree branches at you. It's ridiculous. And down go the rocks. Good night. Love this is a cool fight. I mean, he's pulling rocks, big giant boulders out of the ground with those antlers. He's pulling tree trunks and going back and forth. Ton of fun. I'm pounding that tail. Another piece I'm probably gonna, I probably won't be using at this point. As I said, I got all the stuff already, but hey, why not? Big old bushy squirrel tail. Stab the heck out of that. I'm using the claw quite a bit, just for consistent damage. I don't know. I mean, I don't have any DPS meters, and this does remind me a little bit of my WoW days, just from having to deal with, move sets and long fights, and there's a dance and a rhythm to doing damage. But I end up using the claw quite a bit. I don't know if that's consistent damage or not. I mean, some of these monsters out of this new expansion, they're fast. They basically gave giant saber-toothed tigers and stuff. They gave them wings, so they're flying all over the place, and you'll see some of those. And it's really hard to catch them in one spot, especially with a slow weapon like a giant sword like this, or the hammer. So I've compensated with the claw. Now I love arena fights because you get those little rocks, and you get the Dragonator, which everybody loves. To do that extra damage and kind of get the fight over with. I will tell you, I fought basically the saber-toothed tiger with wings in the arena, and even though it's MR3, it totally destroyed me. So I'm gonna have to level up a little bit, doing some of the optional missions, trying to get some more armor and some more skill before I try to move much further. And just enjoy it. I mean, it's an enjoyable game. It's something you can play leisurely. I like to do the story missions solo. I like to just kind of take my time and have fun with it. But then, get into the multiplayer towards the end game and just trying to round out collecting the rest of those sets. I don't get into the crown hunting or the different sized monsters that go along with it. That's a little bit too much for me, too much grinding. But what's funny about this game is it's got a rich history. There are a lot of monsters that are coming in from older games that a lot of fans connect with and love, and they're things I'm seeing for the first time, but they're seeing them in all new graphic glory. So it's something I kind of miss out on, but I certainly respect the nostalgia that this game inspires in a lot of players. At least that's what I hear. And I love using that sword on doing a claw attack. Just rakes down with lots of shiny orange numbers, which hopefully getting them towards a lower health bar. Still chomping away at these guys for what seems like a long time. I'm gonna go after this guy's tail because it reduces the chance of getting tossed off. You want to try to avoid clawing when they're enraged, as he'll throw you off or intercept you. But tail seems to be vulnerable, and I want that piece, so we're gonna try and take that. The latest monster that gave me the most trouble is, it starts with a G, but anyway, he's got a knife tail that he sets on fire, and it looks glorious, and it is incredibly challenging and damaging. So I fought him for the first time, and he's the first real skill check that I've run into. The first iteration of this game was Anjanath, the big Tyrannosaurus Rex, the big furry one. He was, that's where you knew the game started getting real, and it wasn't just some cutesy little you know, first, on first impression, some cute little monster hunting game, right? It was, well, wow, this game actually has some difficulty to it. Well, this knife tail guy is seems like the one for this. Here, have a tree branch. Jeez, this guy doesn't joke around. I gotta give a shout out certainly to the palicos, the little cat buddies you got. Very good at distracting them and keeping them off you, hopefully long enough to be able to heal up and get away. Sometimes it's not successful, and I am wanting him to come closer for that Dragonator. Little jump, do it, pull the lever. Oh, stab. I don't know if that's technically a Dragonator, to be honest. I think it is, actually. Yeah, I'm going to use, I'm sure, all of my little potions and such in this arena, and you can't go back for them. I learned that the hard way. Once you run out, that's it. You better have other methods of healing yourself, or just not get hit, or avoid getting hit. You can see the little damage that appears on them after you hit them in a certain area over and over again. It's this sort of cracking white that appears. Means you're doing damage. Look at that, so he just keeps it going. Have a tree branch, just tosses it at you. There's no respect. Now you'd think the tail would chop off, a little sooner than what it's taking. Taking too long to chop his tail off. Claw him in the face. Ah! Damage. Well, tree trunk. The strategy in this game is deep, and not only are you dealing with different monsters' movesets and different abilities that you can use to take them down, to put them out of commission, to allow you to do some of the things with your weapons that you can't just simply do in a normal operation. And add on top of that this whole layer of resistance and weakness to elements. This guy, you can see here, he's weak to fire, if I'm not mistaken. Nope, see, and then knock him down with the rocks in the arena here. He's weak to fire, which is why I'm hitting him in the face with a fire weapon. I don't think that he doesn't have any snow attacks, so having snow resistance doesn't matter. But there are certainly monsters that have more weakness and resistance to certain elements, and you also, through the armor sets you get, have those as well. So there's this whole sort of ability to collect and play with resistances that have different effects. It's like an old school, it reminds me of Final Fantasy VI, or even old World of Warcraft, right? In some cases where resistance was an element, not just doing more damage or having more health. And that's a really cool aspect of the game. It allows you to have more variety in the armor sets you use. And on top of that, you also have all these different skills that all the armor comes with. Ice sets may have more resistance to like cold weather effects, which is kind of a new element, I think, in the game. On top of that, you have things that will give you higher crit damage, or allow you to not get, when the monster roars, you don't get stunned as long. So you have all this very deep customization, itemization. You also have to sharpen. Got to keep that weapon sharp. We got it. We got the tail. Now I'm gonna carve this because as soon as the arena ends, you usually don't get the. I don't believe you get the chance to, or it'll despawn or whatever it does. I just remember from arena you got to get that tail quick. So we're carving it. I don't care what he's doing. Yo, so mad at me. That's it. Taken down with a torn open leg. Horns all bashed up and no tail. We definitely got the hit all the beats with this one. I hope you enjoyed it. This guy was a lot of fun to fight. One of the really the coolest monsters, and only the second one in. I'm sure that there's going to be others that are really cool. They have a nice diverse set of move sets and looks. This game is just fantastic, so there'll certainly be more to come. And again, hope you enjoyed it, and as always, take it easy.